What's good, YouTube? Welcome to yet another build setup based setup as well. This is what I use for speed farming the pit, aka leveling Paragon. Since we have Halloween event that increases the experience by 35%, that the Mother's Blessing, then I'm using this to basically get those levels up. Obviously, you want to be in the group because that gives you more experience for each party member. I believe it's 5%. But just for this, showcase and for the sake of this video, I'll just do a solo run. But solo, I do pit tier 100 sub 2 minutes, so like a minute and a half, or it obviously depends on the layout. It depends on the type of boss as well, because some have higher armor or HP. I don't even know at this point, but this is Crushing Hand, Spiritborn, Gorilla, the classic overpower setup with Rod of Kepeleke and Banished Lord Talisman. The traps from Duriel or Andariel. Now my gear is not perfect. Most of my items, if not all, actually have only one grade graphics. Because some of you may know that getting gear this season is absolutely horrible, super expensive, hard to get as well. So gotta do what you gotta do, right? So 1 GAs in most scenarios, and the masterworks are not perfect either. I would need to reset like 5 or 6 items, which is a lot of masterworks, and you also need RNG for that. And me and RNG, we don't go hand in hand. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite setup. I know I said the same with Rake, but Rake has a dead zone with a bad hitbox, so that one is why I'm not the biggest fan. But Crushing Hand, it's basically AoE around you. This is literally Rock Splitter, my first video that I did and built before this expansion launched. I did Rock Splitter, and Rock Splitter was exactly like this when it comes to AoE and utility, but this does just more damage, like miles more damage. So yeah, that's why it's so great. And also the Staff of Kepeleke, it makes your Rod of Kepeleke, it makes the skill be usable in full size, so you don't need any temper for Crushing Hand size, which is insane. That staff just has so much going on, it's really wild. I wish we had it for other classes too, but with this leveling route or setup, you definitely want to have potion. Now the potion stacks with the new potion from seasonal mechanic from the Zak room, so that's 2 potions. And then you want 3 incenses. We could type 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't matter which one you want for the build. Depends on your stats and whatnot. I will have it in a planner which ones I'm using. But since this is overpower build, so we want to scale from HP the most, max life, the most as we can, because overpower scales extremely juicy and well with max life, so or base life actually, because of in this expansion. Funnily enough, with the stat squish, it has better scaling than last season, so that's why overpower builds are on top right now. They're the kings of builds right now for most of the classes, like Barb, Necromancer. I've seen insane Flurry Rogue with overpowers, definitely crazy too. And Druid 2 with Hurricane Poison, I believe. But yeah, very fun build, very good mobility. The moving from pack to pack is not the fastest, as you can see on the screen, is because my movement speed on the boots is not great graphics and it's not masterworked. But I believe I would want to get it masterworked for speedruns because you don't really need damage here. As you can see, we just one-shotting everything, and yeah. Same with the pants. The main thing here is to temper max resolve stacks, and you want to masterwork it as well, because from like 8 out of 12 masterwork, if you hit the last masterwork on these stacks as well, it goes from +9 to, I believe, 12. That's plus 3 extra stacks. There's a lot of damage with the Colossal Glyph that we use for the Paragon board, and with the Gorilla Hull as well. Just in general, just resolve stacking gives so much damage, because yeah, this is wild. I'll show you in a second. It goes with the combination of some of the aspects. Now, a redirected force gives you crit damage, scaling from block chance. Block chance is capped at 100% in the stat sheet, but it is uncapped for this aspect. So that's why Spiritborn is just absolutely powerful and strong, because some of the aspects don't have a ceiling, right? They can scale infinitely, so that's why it's so crazy. And I can reach around, I believe, like 30,000% crit damage or something crazy. But anyways, let's head into the planner and I will show you what we're working with. So first things first, we got the skill overview. So Ravage here is Jaguar skill, but this one gives you a ferocity stacks, which is attack speed, but we get those from Hunter, the ultimate as well. But this gives us extremely good generation, resource generation. This build requires 100% vigor generation. If you have Midnight Sun, which is this rank, a 50% max roll. So with that, with every hit, you will basically gain all the vigor spent in one hit, and you will be able to proc the Banished Lord with every single hit. That's why you see all the O powers. And that goes well with Kapaleka because this also gives you crit damage for each point of vigor spent. So this is crazy. My staff also isn't maxed out. I'm at 2.6 out of 3%, which is pretty huge. That 0.4% is pretty huge. So yeah. Next up, we get Crushing Hand, our main ability. This one deals more damage per each stack of Resolve. That's why we want to temper it on the armor. For Vortex to group mobs together, extremely good ability. We have Vortex size on the gloves, so it basically covers the whole screen. And it knocks down enemies if you have barrier active. And since we, I will show you, we have the rune. The rune this gives us barrier from Druid Bulwark, so we have that non-stop easy clap. Armored Hide for unstoppable, but also to get max stacks of Resolve. Hunter, this is the ultimate. This is very good for gap closing. Overall, just moving around on the map. You have a 40% chance of basically resetting the cooldown when you kill enemy, which is crazy. And Scourge here for extra damage multiplier, just triggering poison. Primary Hole, we get Jaguar. Every 15 attack, you deal extra damage. You will see all the way up to trillions of damage because of this main hole. It's cracked. That's why we want to stack attack speed as much as we can. And the second one is Gorilla here. Gives you extra resolve stacks, which means damage, like I already talked about. And this is what you need for the build, the setup, and consumables too. I will talk about it later. Now the skill tree, first thing, doesn't matter where you put those 2 points. Max out Crushing Hand, and this is it right here. It deals more damage, for every stack of Resolve. It's crazy. It goes more than 24%. It's just because of this planner doesn't take into account the stacks on the gear. And you also will get Barry here, so that's pretty good, right? Next up, we get some passive for damage increase. 15%. It doesn't matter that it costs more. Doesn't matter. Vortex to group mobs together, but again, it knocks enemies down. So with this one, great passive here. Dominant gives you damage increase when you have knocked down enemies. So it's very good stuff. Next up, we got some passive here for damage. Apex, vulnerable damage. We get some understrain power again. So the second Spirit Hole giving us non-stop unstoppable is really good for this damage increase. Ravager, main thing is because of this passive, you will have this up non-stop. Like in Infernal Horde, for example, you pop it once at the beginning and you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the run, not even at the bosses, because it will last forever. And this is the passive main thing why this is very important, 30% generation. So you want to definitely have this up non-stop. Because of that, you will be able to get overpower on each hit and just do a lot of damage. And your core skills instantly dash to the target is just crazy. I don't know what to say. Armored Hide for the max stacks once again. Gives you some extra DR for nearby enemies, so that's good for tanking. Perseverance here, extra damage reduction per stack of Resolve, so more stacks, more damage, more DR, it's everything. We have 1 point here for the block chance. Once again, this is for the aspect redirected force to give us great damage for each, block chance, because that's not capped. I put 2 points in anti-venom because I needed the poison rest to cap it out for my setup. Now the Scourge here for extra damage multiplier up to 50%. And some lifesteal, why not? If you're struggling with vigor early on, you can definitely go with this point. Gives you over 6 seconds on vigor, but nothing too crazy. Now, counter attack, if you're wondering why we have this, is because of this right here passive. Gives you crit damage per every close enemy up to 30% multiplier. So with this and full gear, you're able to get over 10,000% crit damage in a group of mobs. So if you're wondering why do we have this and not on the skill bar, it's because this ring, Midnight Sun, gain counterattacks passive effect. It is intended to work for these skills to work even if they are not on the bar. You just need to have them in the skill tree picked up and it will be procced. So very good thinking. I like it. I like this 5-hit interaction. Now next up we got the passive here. Extra HP increase again helps with scaling overpower. Now damage to knock down enemies. My favorite passives here, Potent. This gives us damage to mobs will take more damage from you up to 30% multiplier. If we have the Shroud of False Death God, whatever it's called, it will give you +1 to all passives, so this will be 40%. That chess piece is insane. Furnace, another great one, more crit damage per stack of Ferocity. With our Hunter here, it gives you full stacks of Ferocity, so that's all good. And the passives here, it will give us more damage when we use ultimate, so I try to use it on cooldown as much as possible, because this is 30% damage if there is only one enemy, so that's elite. That's boss. And Supremacy is even more damage that decays if you're hitting a boss. And Max Vigor, also very good stuff. Even if you're you're supposed to get 240 Vigor for the setup to get guaranteed Banished Lord procs. But if you get more, it doesn't matter. It's even better because that scales once again with Kapaleke. Max resource gives you more crit damage, so that's good. And the key passive, Prodigy's Tempo, this guarantees for, us to have, almost no cooldowns at all on any skill, and gives you ranks to skills, so really good. It's insane. That's why I like to use Harlequin Crest for extra skill ranks too. Let's go over the Paragon board. This was the skill tree. The first glyph we got here is the Spirit for crit damage. This board is great for dexterity, so that's why I put it here. Now on the next one, also on the Paragon board, I recommend going for max life as much as you can. Again, it gives you more damage, not only the survivability, but the damage too. Now second board we got is Viscous Shield. The more barrier, the more damage you will get. This one is bugged. This one gives you more damage than intended, so this will be fixed in the future. Overall, amazing board. Has amazing passives, barrier generation, crit damage. Barrier gen, by the way, helps with this passive to give you more damage. Again, max life, like the passives Spiritborn has on the Paragon board is just ridiculously strong. It's crazy. On the right side here, we go with the Revealing for the damage increase to crowd control. It goes well with Scorch. With Scorch, it's 80% damage increase to CC'd enemy, so it's insane. Attack speed passives, also amazing stuff. More max life. The glyph here is Fitness for endeavor crit damage. I like to stack that. It's also great for the dexterity. This is in-game at 105 dexterity, not at 100. This one doesn't display 1 point for some reason. Now on the left side, the next board, we go with a Drive. I like the passives here again for max life. And the glyph here we go with is Colossal for strength. And overall, this is, once again, more resolve stacks, more damage with this glyph. Amazing stuff. And yeah, try to get the strength nodes. This dexterity here, like you will probably see some random dexterity points here. It's to hit the Paragon nodes, the rare nodes. Mainly this one in game is at 1670 dexterity needed to unlock this. I recommend going for this board as a third one, and then for this one on the left. So that's why you will see it, but like all these points, you can spend them up to your liking, wherever you want to put them. You can max out Colossal for strength and whatnot. Go for more of these passives if you need resistances. Or I even went here for some lucky hit, because why not? Because we have a lucky hit making enemies vulnerable, so this comes in handy, even though it's not a big increase. On the last board, we are going for Sapping. This one, if you're very early, like fresh level 60, I recommend going for this board at first, because this will give you 15% vigor and also 30% damage increase, which is insane. It will also give you max resource and generation. I don't have these 2 points here because for my setup already has over 100% generation with Ravager on, so I don't need this. More attack speed, great stuff. And the last glyph here is Hubris. This is mainly for the bonus to magic nodes, because this glyph has the higher number with the bonus to magic nodes, and mainly for the max resource in here. Also great stuff, right? We get like some damage here as well. This goes up to 34%, I believe, per node, which is insane. Now intelligence here will help you with resistance if you need. I just put it there because I believe that's the one I needed. Now if you level this, was it this one? If you level this node, this Paragon, you will need only 1 point in strength here to hit the requirement of 25 strength. So this point here is just to see this glyph activated, right? Before people would ask. So yeah, that's what I'm rocking with in the Paragon. Now on the gear setup, Harlequin Crest, I like to Masterwork Max Life for the overpower scalings. We don't need cooldown reduction. Obviously, that would be your number one go. But yeah, we don't need to have to be like Max Life. On the chest piece, +1 to all passes. That's the highlight of here. You should go for Max Life as the greater graphics if you can, and Masterwork it as well. And even more Result Generation, if you can get that as GA, even better. On the gloves, this is the main aspect. The Redirected Force gain increased crit damage equal of your block chance, and blocking doubles this bonus. So if you 100% block, you will always block an attack, right? So it's crazy. Block it, making enemies vulnerable. Crushing Hand ranks to that. Max Life as well. Overpower damage and Vortex size is what we need on the gloves. On the pants here, we get for each result stack, we get more block chance. Now, I don't have maxed out aspects, any of these aspects on my character. If you get them maxed out, your damage will basically double. Like those last few percents on these aspects, it will take your damage sky high even more. So it's really crazy. It's really insane. But they are extremely expensive. As if you want to buy them, I don't have them. Ranks to basic skills. Now, because of this weapon, our attack, Crushing Hand, is becoming a basic skill as well with the basic skill tag. So having ranks to that will give you more damage. Max life, dexterity, that the dex is kind of a flex affix. You can put anything you want. If you're struggling with resistances, you can go with that. Armor, I won't really worry too much about it since you got High-Looking Crest. Armor is not that important, not for Spiritborn. It will not die, even if you roll around with 700 or 800 armor, because the cap is 1000. Now on the boots here, Duelist, this is the only one I have maxed out. Ferocity stack goes from 4 to 5 on the back scroll. That will give you more attack speed, and that's in cap number 2, the attack speed. So this goes beyond the 100% cap, cap 1. And for each stack of Ferocity, you will get crit damage because of the Furnace passive in the skill tree, like I showed before. Movement speed, max life, I have G resistances just to hit them in my with my setup, the cap. Movement speed, barrier generation. I have barrier generation on these two as well, on the pants. Word of Kepeleki. I recommend getting GA on the chance for core skills to hit twice and masterwork 3 times, because that will reach at 94.5%. And yeah, I don't have that. I have max resource. I have chance to core as well, but not masterworked. Now the amulet, Banishlord Talisman, drops from Duriel or Andariel. Max life, you want to get this masterworked, amazing stuff, and get as high roll as possible, 60%. Midnight Sun, definitely recommend going for the max roll first, 50%, very crucial for this build, so you don't have to stack too much for generation, resource generation. Now on the screen here, I do have resource generation, but you can totally go with resource cost reduction if you're over the 100% generation, because the reduction scales as damage with this weapon right here. We rock a Moonrise for the attack speed and also damage increase. Good stuff. Attack speed on the ring. Dexterity max life. We don't have attack speed here. I prefer to go life for more damage. It's up to you. You can go attack speed or life on the greater graphics. Now on the rune setup, we got Soul on and Excel on the armor. This is evoking power from another class, which brings me to the barrier again from the druid here. And we link up Pak rune. When you spend resource, you get barrier. We spent the resource with every hit, so you just need to practice. With 3 hits, you will proc this bad boy, and you will also evoke this HP increase. This is, once again, HP increase means O power, so you'll have these runes up non-stop. Because my attack speed with the, after using a Hunter, aka full stacks Ferocity, I'm at 150% attack speed. It's ridiculous, really, this class. On the gems here, the armor, or excuse me, the jewelry, it depends on you. My setup requires Amethyst and Sapphire, cold and shadow damage, and then I had a space for armor here. On the weapon, oh, this is the and the armor, right? The armor, you want to go with barrier generation. That's what I rock. Strengths, weaknesses, and no weaknesses at all. Strengths, basically everything, AoE, single target damage, sustain, mobility. It's got some style as well, right? I mean, those 2 hands of Crushing Hands as a visual on the ground, it's pretty cool. Now on the gameplay loop, aka the rotation, Ravager first up for the generation and damage. Armored Height for max resolve stacks to get that going ASAP. For the Colossal Glyph. Vortex to group mobs together. Scourge to trigger CC. I like to first Vortex and then Scourge, because this will put fear on the targets. And so that means they will run away. But if you have a Vortex, you will always cast that with barrier up, and that means the mobs will be knocked down, so they won't run away. So that's good. Hunter to use as for mobility, or as you need. You can literally jump from one corner to another in Horde with this ability. It is insane. And with the mob density, this is up non-stop. Crushing Hand, I need to update this. I forget this thing right here, the symbol. Main damage ability, and reason why we stack resolve, because you could see the skill tree. More resolve, more damage. Now the mercenaries, did I update it? Oh, I did. So we're using a main one is right here, mainly for Fortify. Now Fortify also scales overpower damage, so we're rocking this, which is not the best, but I'm not a fan of this ability at all. Shield charge, he will push mobs away from you with this shield charge quite far away. I hate this ability, but we need the basic attack in the middle line. When he basic attacks, he will fortify you for 5% of max life. So that's what we need. That's our source for Fortify. Very crucial. Armor increase here, even good, even better. I mean, right? Passive armor, great stuff. In some cases, this is active even in the group, which is odd. I hope that's intended. Crater, this is to pull mobs together. Pretty good too. I went with vulnerability here. This one would be good, but it doesn't make too much sense because it makes our core skills cost no resource, and we don't want that. We need to spend resource, so that's what we're rocking. And as the reinforcement, I'm rocking Variana for the attack speed increase, Bloodthirst. This will give you 10% attack speed, and I have it on Armored Hide. But this is up to you. Whatever you feel the best with. I went with Armored Hide, so this is one really up to you. And I believe we covered everything. If not, once again, you guys know the drill. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Let me know about your journey. I wish you good luck with the drops and everything. Let me know. Once again, I also stream every day on Twitch and YouTube. The links will be in the description if you guys want to join. And I'd love to thank you for watching. Thank you very much. And until next time, you guys have a great one. Peace out.